This week, this week at camp, the biggest thing was to be transformed and not conformed. And what I took out of that was to, like, this is probably my, if I'm not mistaken, fourth camp. And all the other camps, I just go to camp and maybe a week or two later, I just come back and go to my old ways, do what I've always done. But there was just something about this camp, and I don't know what it was. I was very moved. I have my fellow team members, Amar, he's always been my right hand. I could always go back to them for this week, and Mr. Kevin and Zach, they were always good people to talk to. And when I came back from camp, I really did feel a change in myself. It was, I took so much out of camp that I felt like I could share it to the world, and that's what I've done. And I feel like as a group, as a team group, we've all grown a lot closer to each other. We feel more comfortable towards each other. And camp was just an amazing time, and I feel like, and I really do appreciate all the church. We basically went for free. We only paid our $50 deposit, but the rest came from y'all, and I'm pretty sure all the teens thank y'all for that. So, and yeah, that's all I got. Thanks.
So I've only got one more thing to say. There was an illustration that I think touched each one of at least our teens to their heart. The illustration was done by the pastor there. His name was Gary. And he said, if you were sitting on a stool and across from you was Jesus himself, he was looking at you, sitting there eye to eye, knee to knee, toe to toe, what would he say to you? And he didn't give anybody an opportunity to answer the question, but at the end of service, we have an opportunity to go into our room and talk about it. Talk about the service, talk about the games, talk about, whatever we were felt led to. And when he posed that question, I asked everybody what they thought Jesus would say to them in that moment. And everybody's answer had something to do with he's unimpressed with my work. We got somebody said he probably wouldn't even look me in the eye because he's that ashamed of my lifestyle. And something I want to ask you guys: if you were standing or sitting toe to toe, knee to knee, eye to eye with Jesus, what would he say to you? And I think the number one thing is, if you are unsaved or saved, the one thing he would tell you is, I love you this much. And he would show you nail-pierced hands, a wound in his side where his blood literally poured out for every single person. And the Bible tells us in John that God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever believes in him would not perish but have everlasting life. And the one thing that I told my teens to do was to cross out the world and just put your name there. Because if it was just you that was going to be saved, he'd do it. And he'd do it again and again and again. That's all I got.
I was watching very carefully. I got something I want to say to you and you, Kevin. You two better be careful. The Lord may call you two to preach. Better be careful. You better be careful. You got the gift of gab, son. I tell you, you got the gift of gab. I'm going to watch him. I got my eyes on him, all right? I want to thank Kevin and his group. They did a great job. Let's give them a good hand, all right? And I thank the Lord for them. Amen. All right. You would never guess that I was a youth director at Fort Bluff camp in Dayton, Tennessee for 1 year. It was Skyline Bible Conference back then, the worst, most difficult year of my life. But I learned a lot. All right, let's stand, please, and we'll be dismissed. Thank you, Kevin, and your group guests. Thank you for being with us today.